Find it funny how men don't want a woman who's been ran through, don't want a woman who's been with multiple partners, yet we women have to deal with a man who's ran through.
Historically, chastity is not a value that women looked for in determining who was a better man. Describe. Let's talk about it.
Find it funny how men don't want a woman who's been ran through, don't want a woman who's been with multiple partners, yet we women have to deal with a man who's ran through multiple women and multiple partners. Let that sink in.
It's not truly a double standard because both sides don't hold that as a standard. What do I mean by this? When women are selecting for men, rarely is their chastity, their purity, or their lack of partners a determining factor when saying this is a better man than this. In fact, it would seem as the opposite would be true, that him having multiple partners, especially sometimes multiple, baby mamas, it looks as if this is a man that's pre-selected and has status, saying that other women of similar quality or status as you or beauty as you have chosen him, therefore he must be a cut above the rest. I'll give you another example. When men often say that once they put on the wedding ring, they get more attention from women. That's saying that one, there's maybe female competition amongst each other, saying, what is about that man that you guys got together? Are you better than me? Or can I take that man from him? Sometimes even those comparisons, it's not even about the man himself. It's not about the qualities of the man. It's simply the status that he is chosen. He has been taken. That's why it's not really a double standard. It's only a double standard or this pseudo double standard when you want to compare apples to oranges and try to make this thing fruit in its own fruit basket. But we understand because we see the outcomes and the data is there for us. We can see the anecdotal data in the Nick Cannons, the futures. We see examples of that where women say, I know I'm going to be number 8 and I still decide to be number 8 because for whatever reason, these qualities in here, I do not mind that he's very obviously ran through. I obviously look at that, and even that ran through nomenclature is up in there. But you get it. You've decided that it does not matter what he is actually going through or has gone through, other women, or what he's put other women through. You still sign up to be the next. That's how you end up being baby mama number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. We just highlighted a video just a couple days ago where a woman, she signed up on tonight's conversation. She's baby mama number 8. You can't tell me that him having 7 other kids just wasn't the most important factor. It doesn't ring as true to men, to women as it does to men. This is why it's not a double standard. Men look at it and say, yeah, that's not what I want. It's what I have fun with, but not technically what I want. And then they select by that. That is their standard when it comes to dating or intentional dating for a wife or potential mother of their children. When men are serious, especially men of means, they're serious. That is a factor for them. That is a standard. Women do not value men or do not look at men to determine his being high value or not, or what is worth on the market by the number of kids he has. You have other markers that women tend to choose by. So it's not really that confusing, but when you want it to seem confusing, when you heard it from someone else and it sounds like a good talking point, then you'll say it, right? But all we really have to do here is take a moment, a breath, a pause, to see if this thing actually makes sense, if it actually holds water, rather than simply being on social media and hearing someone say something and it says, oh, that sounds like a good gotcha point. How will people ever respond to that? What we like to do over here, we like to, look at data, look at nuance, and try to come up with an actual through line of what makes sense. And hopefully believe that some people are asking the question because they're curious, or they're asking the question because they want a gotcha moment and maybe they need to move on to a new point. Either way, we're here to sort of clear the air and just try to think a little bit for ourselves. Listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. We got membership open on the channel if you want to see exclusive videos. We're going to create more and more of those. Again, the bread and butter, like we like to do, Subscriber Sundays. Join the chat. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys later today, an hour after this long form gets posted. Hopefully I see some new faces in there. If not, thank you for all the people that always routinely show up. Besides that, hype the video, share the video. We got some merch in the store. Now, we understand that, it sometimes seems unfair in dating, and when it seems like either side is looking to one up the other and talk about how difficult or how unfair the game is. The real truth is none of that ever actually changes anyone's mind, anyone's opinion. The deck that you're dealing with, the deck that you're playing with, the cards that you're given are the cards that you're given. If you want to make it seem as, okay, men are ran through, that's why unbelievable, we have to choose them, then don't choose them. You don't have to choose a man that has had a bunch of sexual partners. But the idea of a 40-year-old virgin is enough of a comedy for us to make a movie about. It's not a pillar that women look and say, this is such a great, beautiful, wondrous thing to have. When you say things like this, when it's very obvious that you either just want to ignore the reality of how the majority of women kind of go about choosing outside of religion, outside of specific cases, because I know there's always an anecdotal story in there saying, well, this is not what no. You typically want men that have some sort of experience. And that experience is also in the workforce, that's traveling. It's in eating out, in dining, in knowing how to treat a woman, in knowing how to treat a woman in the bedroom. So men understand this. We don't look at this as a double standard. We just look at it and say, this is just one of those inequities about the game. We both have different standards. We both are looking for different things. If you don't, then you can simply highlight for those. You can simply push and say, okay, I want men that are not this. And then you know where to find them. The majority of men are not getting enough attention. And the majority of men, or a large swath of men, have not had any type of physical interaction, have not had any type of sex within a year. That's self-reported studies. It's common. Most men do go without female attention. You know where to find the guys. You may not like the other behavior surrounding them. And this is why one of the reasons why you don't tend to choose from them. You don't want to be with a guy that you look like and say his hobbies are for nerds or reserved for nerds, or he does things that are outside of the norm, outside of the things I've deemed to be cool, to be suave, to be the thing I like to show off to everyone else about. He may not have the nice car, the nicer apartment, but he has that chastity, purity thing that you're looking for. But when we play this out, when we stretch this out just a little bit, we get to see the truth. You just want to say something that sounds good to you, rather than think a point through and say, well, why do I choose a man with 4 kids already, with 3 baby daddies, 4 baby mamas? Why did I choose that man? He was pre-selected, and you looked and said, there's things about him that I enjoy. Even when you call him the bad boy tends to have early access to women, and he has very little discipline in spreading his seed across the place. When you look again at the data, you see that a majority of the men do not have children. And 60 or about 70% of women are having kids with a large minority of the men. Something like 48, 49% of the men. That's who the majority, 60+% of women are having kids with. That's the math. It's not a double standard. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see the videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to sound my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.